この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Are you curious where you can watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider and Sentai every week? Well, since there is no official release, you might have to resort to alternative methods. Personally, when I search for website to watch tokusatsu, my top priority is to safeguard my personal data. That's why I rely on SURFSHARK VPN, the sponsor of today's video. With SURFSHARK, your online safety and privacy is paramount as it is effective at concealing your online activities through its VPN capabilities. By encrypting your internet traffic that nobody can pry into your online endeavors or track your digital whereabouts. Additionally, Surfshark enables you to virtually explore the world with a tap thanks to its ability to change your VPN address. By switching your location to anywhere in America, let's say, you can access at least over 10 Ultraman shows and movies, or explore other toku shows available on Tokushoutsu. You can poke around at the Japanese Premium Bandai page and discover a captivating array of expensive children's toys. I highly recommend getting Surfshark VPN today, as it comes with an extra 3 months. Simply click the link in the description, and if you are unsatisfied, rest assured there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why wait any longer? Take advantage of this fantastic offer and sign up now. It's an incredible opportunity for all of you, my fellow Tokusatsu fans. I absolutely love the way this episode was structured, pretty much being split in half. One being Rakule's true origin story, his quote-unquote road to villainy, to at first try to beat Dudarojan, and after understanding that, yeah, I don't believe I can really do it, is to pretty much make Gira stronger, that in one point would defeat Dudarojan. I loved seeing every bit of it. Every single moment being explained to me, it just was so great. I love seeing the moment when young Rakules got to interact with Dudarojan for the first time. In the Fury of the God, after pretty much Dudarojan say, hey, I'm kind of sick of this world, let's just kill off every old king and let's bring the new generation. And you can clearly see Dudarojan is just having fun, and it's like, oh, little boy, are you gonna cry because of your dad? Ooh, go cry me a river. This is real glass. But the moment of Rakules understanding, okay, that's the big villain, I need to defeat it. I would try to create a god myself, but I was trampled. So now my moment to pretty much create the ultimate weapon, aka make Gira stronger. And it was really interesting to really think about that this human is playing 4D chess with this omnipotent being that can see everything. He can see that someone is lying to him straight to his face. And that's interesting. It's pretty much a character that is a know-it-all, but his higher thoughts about himself pretty much make him pretty much blind to what's in front of him. And that is a person that is going to do absolutely everything to defeat him. And that means to make himself look like the villain until he's going to gain your trust and going to betray you. And it's such an interesting character. It's such an interesting role for Rakules in the story. And I just love all of the moments behind the scenes when the camera wasn't on. Specifically with Suzume. The idea that you can actually see them really be in love. And you can clearly see that Rakules see the good in Rakules. And she's like, hey, I made him a promise. When he falls down, I would pick him up. This is actually really cool, and it is really interesting to see those two really interacting, and it's like, man, this is actually kind of beautiful. How much the idea that somehow he has the tranquilizer on him. I still don't get how he got it, but hey, Suzume has it, so it's like somehow Suzume got it from her brother, but also you can't just take something like a drink if you're supposed to use a syringe for it. It doesn't really work like that, Rakulis. I'm just saying. But like that scene between Suzume and Daiboski like is really interesting, because like Daiboski pretty much says, hey, it's fine, you can just return to Tofu, and she's like, no, like I'm actually in love with Rakulis. This was like really beautiful, and it really was amazing to see, and seeing and hearing some of Rakulis' kind of ideas of like, oh, I would create King-Ohger Zero, and I would defeat the Darujan with a man-made god, but then he was defeated. But later, after he kind of understand of like, hey, Gira is pretty strong, but I would still win that fight. How much? Clearly not, son. You ain't winning that second fight. With the idea of him knowing there is a spy of like inside of his court, so he's like, hey, when Kijimin got exposed as one of his handlers, he's like, okay, fuck it, I will just be the villain now. Gira, kill me off. And the idea and the reason why Rakulis is still alive is because Gira didn't kill him, because Gira was naive. Gira kind of maybe took pity on Rakulis, and it was really interesting to really see kind of unfold. And yeah, it was a quote-unquote clip show episode, but you know what, sometimes there are good clip show episodes, and I really like it. And the second half of the episode was pretty much the fight between the Hasti brothers versus Darujan, and it was awesome, with amazing choreography, amazing moments, with the best one being Gira fully acknowledging Rakulis as a good guy, but also his brother, with Gira actually calling himself Gira Hasti, being the first time he actually said it, was totally satisfying. And seeing those two tag team against the Darujan was so cool. How much a small bit of me didn't like that Gira was fully like down so fast with like Rakulis being a good guy. But you know what? Seeing those two interact was really cool, and having like Rakulis quote unquote take a bullet for Gira, and actually in his few breaths that he had last helped Gira to get rid of the Darujan for now, or at least his main kind of robotic body, was really cool. And I just liked seeing how all of the kings try to actually help Rakulis. I like the kind of interactions with like Daiboski say, hey, I'm not leaving you down now. Gust, like the guy that absolutely hated Rakulis, it was like, okay, I'll help him. We have some like, you know, replaceable robotic parts for humans. And like Himeno was like, oh, we're going to save you. And having Rita is like, hey, we are, you know, we are this rescue task force. We need to save people. And having Jeremy, first of all, Spider-Man with, you know, Rakulis was kind of funny, but telling him, hey, you have more stories to tell, was cool. Like, I don't know, that part really hit me in my heart. And it's so cool that in the end, Rakulis and Gira's stories pretty much emulate each other, with both of them pretty much encouraging the big bad and try to be the bigger bad, to the real big bad. So is Dudarujan trying to do that too? And the real big bad is Bandai and Toei? Just saying. It is my big theory in the end that just the King-Ohgers and at least what's left of the 5 jesters are just going to fight Toei or Shirakura. One of those two. So yeah, what you thought about this episode of King-Ohger? Comment below, let me know. Thanks for SURFSHARK for supporting my channel, and thank you all for watching the video. Subscribe to my channel if you already didn't, and have a great rest of your day.